Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the season finale of Rick and Morty, The Rickchurian Mortydate. And I think this was a pretty good ending to this season. It tied off the main kind of story arc of, like, Rick's kind of manipulation of the family. Now granted, we didn't really get anything on the evil Morty front, but I believe that it's just enough that we had that plot point at some point, and that it could be used for pretty much an entire season, potentially, if they do something interesting with it next season, or whatnot, or they just might use it as a one-off, or just leave it as it is, but I think it needs to be addressed eventually, because it's just sitting back there. We don't know what Evil Morty's plans are, and he could be doing something kind of big, especially since it's going to involve all Ricks and Mortys, and we're following Ricks and Mortys. So, I can't wait to see kind of where that goes, but I really enjoyed this episode. So, of course, we start off in the White House, and we see the security dude kind of lets this janitor dude into this secret elevator. So he goes down, cleaning his stuff, and he gets attacked by this creature. So, of course, then we get to Rick and Morty, and Rick's kind of asking Morty, like, so you are mining stuff to craft with, and you're crafting stuff to mine with. He's like, did your dad write this game? He's like, dude, that's me. So, of course, then we hear a helicopter, and these two guys are like, dude, the president needs you. He's like, oh, how clandestine? So, of course, Rick pops off his portal gun, pushes Morty in, follows them, and then the dudes are like, well, if they can teleport, why are we here? He's like, dude, I work here same as you. So it's like, don't even ask me. So, of course, they drop in on the president talking to two guys, and he kind of fills them in. He's like, listen, we got this alien infesting the Kennedy sex tunnels. We need you kind of hunt it and take it out. And naturally forget anything you saw in there, like the Truman Cocaine Lounge, the McKinley Hooker Dump, and the Lincoln Slave Coliseum. He didn't free them all. It's like, sweet Jesus! Okay. Kind of fucked up and everything. It's like, alright. So, of course, since they've got those interestingly named things, they're like, alright, let us know when you're done. Morty asks for herself, and he's like, no, screw you. I gotta go off this summit and everything. So, Rick and Morty are in the tunnel trying to find the thing. They do. Alien charges up. Rick just kind of zaps it with a pistol, whimpers, and runs into a hole. And they're both kind of like, this sucks. Why are we doing this? I'm like, dude, I thought it was just me. And he's like, I thought you young people like to, like work for the honor of the president and everything. Like, maybe the first few times, but this sucks. And just kind of showing how Rick's kind of, like, rubbing off on Morty, like, yeah, this sucks and everything. He's like, treat us like the Ghostbusters and everything. He's like, alright. How about we talk to him? He's like, oh, that sounds like fun. How about, no. Like, set some boundaries. He's like a control freak, and he orders drone strikes to cover up his insecurities. So, either that or more of this. Like, third choice, Minecraft. Oh, so you like it now. He's like, it's kind of growing on me. And, of course, we see a video feed as the security are like, what do? We tell them that Rick and Morty just blew off America. So, of course, they're in the living room playing Minecraft and everything. He's like, oh, I'm getting wood so I can build a chest to put more wood in. And he's like, listen, you're not going to have any fun if you analyze it like that. And that was a kind of interesting thing. I'm like, yeah, because you're not careful. You overanalyze everything, and you completely suck out the enjoyment. That's why you got to have balance on certain things. And they're just pretty much getting into it as we see the president watching them. He's like, this is what they'd rather do. It's all in the transcript. Treat us like Ghostbusters. Like, oh, that's not cool now? I don't recall signing that bill. Like, that's interesting. That's a pretty good one. Of course, he's like, talking about the insecurity part. He's like, well, then why don't we blow them up? He's like, that would prove them right. And he's like, good that you can see that. So, of course, he calls them to kind of see what's going on. And he's like, oh, you hard at work at the tunnel? Could be a couple months. And they're like, I can see you. Oh, using an illegal spy satellite? Yeah, that's really cool. He's like, you're lying dicks. He's like, listen, the two of you have broken like thousands of federal laws. I was returning the favor by not holding the two of you accountable to the laws. He's like, oh God, didn't know that you saw it that way. Well, nobody's fault. Never had the talk, so to speak. I mean, we see it when we show up, do it as a favor to you. Especially when you wanted to cover up because you found an X-Files monsters in your basement. Like, never arrest us, assume you knew it was impossible. So, essentially, instead of doing this, like, cool kind of adventure, which I love that they make fun of and kind of, like, deconstruct throughout this series, it then essentially gets into the president wanting control and Rick, being a control freak himself, just clashing heads with this. And look, listen, we're happy to keep saving Earth because, not because it contains America, just because moving to a new version of it is a bitch and a half, which we've seen him do, and it's like, holy shit. And so yeah, we're cool. Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. And then hangs up. It's like, that went pretty well. He's like, alright. New Rick and Morty policy, never needed them, never will again. Celebrate independence from Rick and Morty. Everybody kind of claps, and he puts on music, and he's kind of sad. Kind of like looking out the window, like, huh, that's kind of interesting. So, of course, then we see, like, this crappy mall. We see Beth and Summer kind of out. Summer in this, like, outfit, and she's like, I'm just trying it on for fun. And Beth's like, what they're saying, like, you're only young once, and they're all too strong, just use protection. It's like, really, thanks. And it's like, adjusting the divorce, everything's kind of new, because Summer's like, listen, I couldn't handle you for more than an hour before. So, okay. And Beth seems to kind of, like, not understand what's going on. She's like, am I me? What's going on? And then we get to Brazil, and we see these guys in biohazard suits, and they find this little civilization that launches nukes at them. It's like, holy shit. So then we see Rick and Morty in kind of a blocky form. It's like, wow, it's just like Minecraft. And then they hear the phone. It's like, like a device. It's like, hey, a tiny nuclear-capable species got discovered in the Amazon. Let's get there first and contact them. And, like, steal their shit. And, of course, we'd seen that they had been in VR and everything. It's like, yeah, like, in contact with them before someone else steals all their shit. And they were, like, in VR, and he's like, what about this? He's like, South Park did it 4 years ago, Morty. So, they're either first or we're slow. And I just kind of love that self-referential humor and all that. And talking about other things. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. So, of course, they get into Brazil. Rick makes his Brazilian pun, like, oh, don't do anything stupid because the casualties would be in the Brazilians. It's a threat and a pun. Nobody gets me. And it's like, yeah. So, of course, then we see this teleporter arch, and the president comes out. It's like, oh, hello, Rick, you're here too. Global crisis? Well, you're not needed here. Nobody. We don't need you. We know how to take care of this kind of threat. Alright. And, alright, so what are you going to do? We're going to shrink down and diplomatically resolve this. And then somebody gets out a tiny little ship, and these, like, pills and everything is like, okay. Oh, you're still here? Why don't you get to the next version of Earth with your selfie crazy starfuck sidekick? It's like, whoa. We're allowed here. You're not president of the Amazon. Yeah, I learned about your job in school. You're a civil servant, so we're technically your boss. And he's like, oh, please, Morty. You pay as many taxes as you have pubes. And he's like, I got pubes, Commander and Queef. And then Rick's like, whoa, that's actually a pretty good one. And I'm like, whoa. And Morty's like, you want to count them? And I'm like, I love how Morty had just gotten to a point where he's like, if you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you back. And, of course, he's like, that's it. Get out the rare element, the Sanchezium. And he handcuffs, put them on there, and put them on Rick, and put on just regular handcuffs on Morty. And, oh god. He's like, ooh, why don't you go like at a peace summit? He's like, they're important. Yeah, they work great. We're drowning in peace. And just saying you suck. And he's like, and if you were in that task force, it would be just better if you like walk through the mushroom clouds because the cancers that you get from taking those pills aren't really good. And he's just like, I'll do it. And he's like, it's disbanded, so he's the only one that takes it, and he's shrinking and everything. And he's like, you two aren't American anymore, you're expatriated, you set foot on homeland soil again, I'll treat it as an invasion. And he's like, is it supposed to be painful? Yeah, painful to watch because you're shrinking so slowly. It's like a 70s one, and you just get pissed off at them, and Rick's like, let's just get out of here, Morty. Shakes off the cuffs, shoots Morty free, pretty much. I'm like, I just made that up. Don't believe everything you read on Wikipedia. He's like, guess he's not afraid of pirates. And then Rick's actually afraid of pirates. He's like, Morty, let's get out of here. And they kind of run. And it's like, holy shit. Okay. Oh, Lord. So, of course, we see Beth drinking wine and everything. She's, like, looking at herself. She calls Rick. She's like, how do I know I'm not a clone? And as we're seeing this, we see Rick, like, smoking this thing and, like, playing cards and all that. And she's pretty much trying to see if she's the clone. And Rick's like, no, you're not the clone. You're not. Okay? Everything's fine. You're my daughter. No big deal. And of course, this is doing the opposite effect. Instead of calming Beth, she's freaking out. While we see Rick and Morty pretty much smoking and playing cards with these two guys. It's like, what the hell? So of course, we see the president in the ship. He's naked. And he gets into this thing with the parking dude. He's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, pull forward and park. And he's like, and say, God damn it. And he's like, I'm sorry. I've had a bad day. So they present him to the presidentress of the Mega Gargantuans, and she's like, we named ourselves that before we found out we were small. And like, if you think about it technically, you're Mega Gargantuan to somebody at least, so it's not really a misnomer. So, of course, she's like, I know, we've already got a ceasefire from your ambassadors Rick and Morty, and he's like, of course, they can shrink instantly and teleport. So to give you this, as the cancer pills wore off, it'll stretch and everything. It says best prez ever on it. It's like, he's pissed off. So, oh God. So, of course, he's getting back up and getting back up to speed. And he's like, alright, Rick and Morty escaped. No shit, take me to the Pentagon. I got pants there. It's a clause and everything. And he's like, don't you want a press conference? Israel and Palestine announced a ceasefire. It's a pretty obvious, if you think about it, accord. An anonymous American diplomat took them to a Star Wars cantina. They smoked some perspective-enhancing alien pheromones through a laser hookah. And, yeah, and he's like, God damn it, it's Rick and Morty again. What are they up to? He's like, I don't know if you want to, like, do anything bad with this, because your approval rating's up to 100%. He's like, isn't that what you want? He's like, it's because they're assholes. So she has a conference, talks about how it's like, it was a whole team kind of effort and all that, says thank you, and walks in, and he's like, we walk in, and we see Rick and Morty in the Oval Office. He's like, why are you in here? He's like, relax. You can't blow us up or spy on us in this room, because that would be kind of stupid if you did that. So we thought this was the safest room. And it's like, we just want to talk to you. We'll forget each other exists. In return, you just take a selfie with Morty. He's like, couldn't you send that in text? We'll be seeing each other again. And, of course, it's the code red. We got everybody around the room. He's like, that's it. All you got to do is take a selfie with him. And he's seriously that stubborn. And I'm like, I'm protecting my country from selfies, from subordination to hostile powers. He's still not giving in to Rick's demand. He sees it as a direct challenge to his power. But see, Rick also sees what the president is doing as a direct challenge to his power. So they're pretty much in this standoff. And he's pretty much gets this one guy to try and, like, kind of get him to touch him. He's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And, of course, he touches him and dies. He's like, why'd you do that? He's like, I needed a deterrent. What does that need? Death. She's like, why couldn't one woman's like, why couldn't you knock him out? He's like, that's not a deterrent. Everybody wants to get knocked out. And he's like, you just committed murder in the Oval Office. Now you can't leave. Fine. And I'm not leaving without the selfie. And, well, now you can't leave anyway. So they're like, we're getting the selfie and we're leaving. And he's like, Morty's like, this is getting really out of hand. I don't really need this to happen. Of course, listen, we've got non-people. They got fire trained on you. What are you going to do? He's like, yeah, I know exactly how this is going to go. And he, like, shows all of it, and they open fire, and he's like, God, you're dumb. And, of course, he's got a shield on, and that takes out some of them, and it's just, like, completely and utterly just keeps getting worse and worse. And He's like, I'm Doctor Who in this motherfucker. I'm a clone. I'm a hologram. I could be a clone, a hologram. Clones controlled by like robots, controlled with special headsets. Well, I'm fucking your mother. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. Come to 312 Olive Street. That's your address. You don't know him because you're a bad son. And then the president punches Rick and he's like, take him down. It's not for fun. He grabs a flag trying to kill Rick pretty much. And then of course, Rick uses a laser and just like starts killing people. And it's like, holy shit. So of course, then we get to Jerry and he's like, trying to do stupid stuff with like a turn thing. And it's like a video for like sign twirling. So Beth comes in and is pretty much trying to figure out if she's a clone or not. And of course, Jerry gets into it, talking about like their senior year, a date he took her on, and how he was really nervous and everything, sweaty hands, trying to like get him unsweaty by rubbing him on the grass, got a Snickers bar on, and he's like going up to her, he's like, hey, lips don't sweat, and kisses her, and like, wow, yeah, you never get that feeling. You're the real thing. And that settles it, because my memory of hating that night, now it's feeling how lucky I am to be loved by a simple, honest, simple man. He's like, he said simple twice. This isn't the woman you married, Jerry, because this woman loves you. He's like, viva la difference. He's like, okay, that's just saying words. And then he says Don Cheadle, and Beth kisses him, and they're both kind of into it. So, of course, then we get back to what's going on with Rick and Morty, where you see like a dude explode from lasers, and he's just killing two more, and he's like, get the fuck out of my office, and he smashes a statue on Rick's head, and he's like, you have the right to get the fuck out of my office. He's like, you have the right to kiss my dick. And then the president tries to punch the shield, and somebody gives him a laser, and he's like, it's more like a gravity gun, and he like grabs Rick and like smashes him up and down and gets him through into the kitchen, and of course, then gets to the point where he tries to use a laser went from his watch for a satellite to kill Rick. That, of course, makes a circle around the room. They drop down into another one. The president then unleashes ninja children, which he uses a dog whistle to go into attack mode. Rick then uses candy, throws it at him. They start eating it and fighting each other. And then we see the president at this time had also went in and got into a mech chair that's got Gatling guns on it. And he's about to use it, and then we see Rick just do a hologram thing, and then dodges all the bullets, and he runs out, and he's like, ha-ha! Then he turns into kind of like a hamster ball thing, and starts rolling out, and that's when the president gets drones and a jetpack with missiles to get onto him, and he's like, oh god. It's crazy, man. And they then kind of like get through the McKinley storage and waste warehouse, and Rick's able to take out the drones and pretty much the jetpack, and they get shot up onto the lawn, and he's like, I yield, you can take the selfie. Okay, Morty, get here and say cheese. And then we see that Morty's gone. He then calls Morty, and we see the whole family's pretty much in a cabin. He's like, I told you I didn't want the selfie 800 times, and Mom's back with my dad. She's still kind of convinced that she's a clone. He's like, no, I told her she isn't a clone. And he's like, well, isn't that what you would say to a clone? And, of course, they love each other. Beth is kind of helping Jerry. Wanted me and Summer to come. We're hiding from you so you don't kill her if a clone. So please just kind of like leave him alone. Don't look up for us and everything. And hangs up, and then the president kind of headbutts him. He's like, come on, bitch. He's like, you come on, bitch. I'm out. I'm done. Gotta go. So I win. I'm in charge. You can't leave. You're a terrorist enemy of the state. You kicked me in the balls 10 minutes ago. The office of the president can't coexist with a living God who won't submit. I mean, besides Poseidon, we have him locked up in Area 51. It's like, not really count. I'll make you a deal. Let me use your off-brand deficit-tripling teleporter to take care of something. You'll never see me again. Yes, to the deal. Invisible troopers stand down and is like, listen, I can see them the whole time. So, of course, they take the teleporter to the cabin. Rick comes out with a gun, and she's like, Dad, if you're my dad. I relate to this family because if Beth left, she left this family, and she left me. So, you're not really killing her, you're killing the real family. Just go away. You've got infinite timelines and lives. Move to one of them. Different identical version. You can find this sociopathic, crazy bitch of a daughter. Keep making you proud. And you're my daughter. I brought this here to kill Jerry. Because, of course, Jerry is always a threat to Rick. Even though Jerry isn't on the same level as Rick. So it's like, okay. He still sees him as a threat because he wants to be the center one. So, of course, he throws the gun down, and it's like, okay. Jerry's like, shit. He's like, you and Jerry, no amount of genius can stop your dumb, mediocre, vacuous roots from digging in eventually, like everyone, and draining the ability to, like, get rid of you. It's like, whatever. It was just kind of crazy. It's like, wow, Jerry kind of won in some weird, odd-ass way. Oh. He's like, nobody gets it, nothing matters. Oh. Because Summer did this, like, part to be, like, funny or whatnot. And, like, why would I stay in this one, with the trash the White House, I'm an enemy of America, I've got the lowest status in this, like, idiot family, whatever. So, of course, we see the president kind of clearing up the rubble, making the Secretary of the Interior doing it. And, of course, it's like we see this Rick coming in fishing gear. He's like, listen, I'm a Rick, travel infinite spaces and everything. I'm replacing the other Rick. I'm a fishing enthusiast, happy to be of service. And, of course, we see Beth and the family having a dinner and everything. Panda Express. And we think that it was a fishing Rick that made friends with the president. Come to find out, it's just Rick taking fishing gear from Jerry, and he's talking to Jerry like an ass, but, of course, Beth said that doesn't fly anymore. So they're like, oh, this will be cool. This will just be like a streamlined thing of season 1, kind of being like completely self-referential. It's like, holy shit. Talking about how she's now over that kind of stuff that she's had with her father and all that, and everybody's kind of like laughing at Rick, and it's like he looks pissed at everyone, so it's like, shit, what's Rick gonna do? Because he almost got rid of Jerry and was able to do all this stuff, but whatever he wanted. So how this is gonna work out? Then that's where the main episode ends. Then we get to Mr. Poopy Butthole talking about like, oh, what have you been doing? Oh, I got married, had a baby, got my GED, and what were you doing? Probably fucking around, wasting your time. Well, we'll see in season 4. It'll probably be a long time. I'll probably have a Santa Claus beard and grandkids and stuff. So, see you then. It was like a really cool kind of end to it. And we just kind of came full circle to Rick had pretty much orchestrated this ultimate plan to pretty much be the center of the family. And pretty much in trying to do that, he was able to kind of get them back together in their own kind of weird way and kind of get against him. Not truly against him, but like force him on the back foot to being again on the outside. And it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that and what goes on with that going into future seasons, no matter how long they take. And also, McDonald's is doing the Szechuan Sauce on October 7th, so book online. It's only a day. They're doing like Szechuan sauces, limited posters and stuff like that. Look it up online. Yeah, Szechuan sauce. So that's just something so that way you can look for yourself, have fun stuff with Rick and Morty and all that. So I really liked how this season kind of deconstructed the whole adventure stuff and just deconstructed everything kind of like that. Kind of similar to like an anime I watched and reviewed, Puella Magica, and just kind of like took the adventure stuff and just like messed around with it and played around with it, setting you up for one thing, delivering another, and actually kind of like delving into the characters and what makes them tick. And I hope that they continue that trend and just kind of deliver really good stories and just see where this is going to go and what their ultimate end goal is for the series. So, those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.